Have you ever judged someone just because of the way they looked? Sometimes the person everyone whispers about is carrying a story no one has taken the time to hear. One false rumor can destroy a reputation, but one act of kindness can reveal a truth that changes everything. Today's story is about a woman who was called a homewrecker by an entire town simply because she was beautiful. People believed the gossip without asking a single question. But when the real truth finally came out, those same people were left speechless, and many wished they had shown kindness instead of judgment. Before we begin, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to spread kindness, and leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. Every like and subscription helps us share more heartfelt stories that remind the world that kindness still matters. Now, let's begin. When Emily Harper moved into the quiet town of Maple Creek, she hoped for a fresh start. She rented a small white house with blue shutters, planted flowers in the front yard, and smiled at every neighbor she met. At 29 years old, Emily had a warm heart, gentle manners, and a quiet confidence that naturally caught people's attention. Within days, people noticed her beauty. She wasn't trying to impress anyone, but gossip travels faster than truth. Soon, whispers began spreading around town. I heard she's after married men. Did you see her talking to Daniel outside the grocery store? Poor Sarah. She should keep an eye on her husband. Emily had no idea that strangers were creating stories about her life. She simply believed people were shy. She continued greeting everyone with kindness, even when many ignored her smile. One afternoon, Emily visited the local bakery. As she waited for her order, two women standing nearby stared at her. Some women have no shame, one whispered loudly enough for Emily to hear. Emily looked down, paid for her bread, and quietly walked away. The words hurt, but she chose silence instead of anger. Across town, Daniel Brooks was loading supplies into his truck. Daniel was a respected firefighter, happily married to Sarah, and the father of two young boys. Emily had only spoken to him twice. The first time was when he helped carry heavy boxes into her new house. The second was when they bumped into each other at the grocery store. That was enough for rumors to grow. Sarah trusted her husband completely, but even she began feeling uncomfortable after hearing the same stories over and over. One evening she asked Daniel, "Is there something I should know?" Daniel looked surprised. "Emily? She's just my late brother's organ recipient." Sarah froze. "What do you mean?" Daniel slowly explained something almost no one in town knew. 3 years earlier, Daniel's younger brother, Michael, had died in a terrible motorcycle accident. Before his death, Michael had signed up as an organ donor. His heart had saved the life of a young woman named Emily Harper. Months after recovering, Emily had written a letter to Michael's family expressing gratitude. She never expected anything in return. But Daniel answered the letter, and over time they exchanged occasional messages. When Emily later accepted a teaching job in Maple Creek, Daniel and Sarah were the only people she knew in town. Sarah felt tears fill her eyes. "So all this time?" Daniel nodded sadly. "She's living because my brother gave her a second chance." The next morning Sarah drove to Emily's house carrying homemade cookies. Emily opened the door with a surprised smile. "I hope I'm not bothering you," Sarah said softly. Emily invited her inside. Within minutes both women were crying. Emily showed Sarah the old photograph she kept beside her bed. It was Michael's picture, given to her by Daniel after months of exchanging letters. Every birthday, Emily placed fresh flowers beneath it, silently thanking the man she never met. "I wouldn't be alive without him," Emily whispered. "I've spent every day trying to live a life worthy of his gift." Sarah reached across the table and held Emily's hand. "I'm sorry," she said. "I'm sorry people have been so cruel." Emily smiled through tears. "I've learned that hurt people often judge before they understand. I don't hate them. I just wish they knew the truth." A few weeks later, the town organized its annual charity fundraiser for families facing medical emergencies. Sarah surprised everyone by inviting Emily onto the stage. The room fell silent. Sarah stepped up to the microphone. "I want everyone to meet someone very special. Many of you have judged her without knowing her story. Today, it's time for the truth." She gently placed her arm around Emily. "This woman isn't here to steal anyone's husband. She's alive because my husband's brother donated his heart before he passed away. Emily honors his memory every single day." Gasps spread across the audience. Many lowered their heads in embarrassment. Some people even began crying. Emily stepped toward the microphone. "I don't blame anyone," she said calmly. "I know rumors are easy to believe. But kindness is also a choice. Before judging someone, remember that every person you meet is carrying a story you cannot see." There wasn't a dry eye in the room. The bakery owner who had ignored Emily walked over and hugged her. "I'm sorry," she whispered. The women who had spread the loudest gossip apologized one by one. Even children watching from the audience learned something powerful that day. Over the following months, everything changed. Neighbors who once crossed the street to avoid Emily now stopped to chat. Families invited her to community dinners. Parents appreciated the love she showed her students at school. Emily volunteered at the local hospital every weekend, comforting patients waiting for heart surgery because she understood their fear better than anyone. Whenever someone thanked her for her kindness, Emily simply smiled. "I was given a second chance," she would say. The best way to honor that gift is by sharing kindness with others. Years later, Maple Creek became known for something completely different. Instead of being a town filled with gossip, it became a community that welcomed newcomers with open hearts. People remembered what had happened to Emily whenever they caught themselves making quick assumptions about someone else. Daniel often said his brother Michael continued changing lives long after he was gone. Not only through the heart he donated, but through the kindness that Emily inspired in an entire town. Sometimes the greatest beauty isn't found in someone's face. It's found in their courage to remain kind even after being misunderstood. If Emily had answered cruelty with bitterness, the town might never have learned the truth. But she answered judgment with patience, forgiveness, and compassion. Those simple choices touched more hearts than anyone could have imagined. The next time you hear a rumor about someone, pause before believing it. The person being judged may be fighting a battle you know nothing about. A smile, a kind word, or simply giving someone the benefit of the doubt can change a life forever. Thank you for spending this time with us. If this story touched your heart, remember that kindness always shines brighter than gossip, and truth always finds its way into the light. Keep choosing compassion, keep believing in people, and above all, keep spreading kindness wherever you go. One small act of kindness today could become someone else's reason to smile tomorrow.